Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello students, welcome to Swayam Prabha. The course title is Principles of Marketing and the lecture title is Marketing Environment. This is Module 3, Lecture 1. I am Dr. Shoma Sengupta, Associate Professor Commerce, Kamla Nehru College, University of Delhi. In this module, we will cover the following topics: need for studying marketing environment, micro-environmental factors, customers, suppliers, marketing intermediaries, competitors, and publics. Macro-environmental factors: demographic, economic, natural, technological, politico-legal, and socio-cultural. In this first lecture, we will cover the need of marketing environment, studying marketing environment, and the micro environmental factors. Concept of marketing environment. You know that none of the firm, it operates in vacuum. You are in an environment, and these environmental factors will have definite impact on the working of the organization, because you know that the organizations are considered as open system which regularly interacts with the environment. In that process, it has an impact on the environment and it is affected by the environment. So both of them are affecting each other. So one definition which is given by Philip Kotler here, that marketing environment denotes all the external factors and forces that affect a firm's ability to develop and maintain successful transactions and relationships with the target customers. Now, these forces affect every element of working of an organization, especially marketing division of an organization. The marketing policies, decisions, and operations, everything gets affected by the changes in the environment. Now, these forces may be controllable or uncontrollable. They may be classified into internal forces or external forces. Now, these internal forces are controllable to some extent. So, internal resources, physical and human, they are part of it. Marketing mix policies and every type of policies, they are controllable in the hands of the management. When we talk about external factors, these are uncontrollable factors. They can be micro factors and macro factors, which we are going to discuss in detail in the later slides. So micro factors are customers, competitors, suppliers, intermediaries, because they specifically affect this firm and not probably all the other firms. That's why they are the micro environment of the firm. Macro environment affects all the firms in an economy or of a place. So they are broader factors and they can be economic, political, legal, social, cultural, and natural factors. Now, why we study marketing environment? We said that marketing environment has a definite impact on the working of an organization, and the whole of the policies and procedures of an organization, especially the marketing policies and procedures, the marketing mix, of course, it depends upon the changes that are happening in the marketing environment. So that's why we should study marketing environment before introducing any new product in the market or new policies. So identification of opportunities, this is one benefit of understanding marketing environment, because if you can find out the gaps in the market, that will give you a cue about what type of new product you can introduce in the market. So in a way, it suggests some innovations also. So, and when you introduce this product, then you get a first mover advantage. So you will be the first one to introduce the product. So for a long period of time, till others imitate you, you will have that first mover advantage. You know that innovations are constantly taking place. Think about the mobile phone. The first time they were introduced by a company, it enjoyed the first mover advantage for a pretty long time. Design strategies to capitalize the opportunity. So that is another benefit. Strategies like introduce new products according to the need of the customers. So these are the importance of studying marketing environment and getting the knowledge about the opportunities in the market. Then identification of threats, that is also very important. These threats, they give you early warning signals and you will be prepared to meet this threat. Design strategies to meet the threats. Strategy could be cost cutting, improve quality, withdraw the old products, increase promotion. So whatever strategy you have to decide, if you can study the marketing environment, then only you can identify the threats and prepare accordingly. Otherwise you cannot survive in the market. You know that different products, they vanished away from the market just because they were not smart enough to understand the changes that were happening in the environment. Sensitize the management to cope with the changes. Management will keep a track of the changing technology, competition, government policies, changing needs of the customers, and formulate strategies to avail opportunities to meet the threats. Another importance of studying marketing environment is formulation of plans and policies. Now, monitoring environment gives you certain cues about the changes that you should introduce in your plans and policies. So you cannot just have a blind eye to the changes happening in the environment. Design plans and policies to adapt the firm to the uncontrollable environment. Design and modify the marketing mix. Acquire strengths and remove weaknesses for facing threats and exploit the opportunities. Then another thing is image building. According to the changes happening in the environment, you can invest in your image building also. Introduce the new products or services according to the needs of the customers. Build image or reputation of the firm in the eyes of the customers. Now, another very important point is that continuous learning will take place if you are studying the marketing environment. Keeping in touch with the external environment, gathering information on a continuous basis, that will keep the firm abreast with the changes that are taking place in the environment and be prepared for such changes with their own strategies and policies. Act on the basis of such information. So you are an informed organization. So that is very important for any organization to survive in the long run. Environmental scanning. For the purposes of studying the environment, you have to continuously monitor and study the external environment as well as the internal environment, and that is known as environment scanning or environmental monitoring. So environmental scanning involves environmental monitoring and evaluating changes and trends in the environment. It refers to possession and utilization of information about occasions, patterns, trends, and relationships within an organization's internal and external environment. Management must systematically monitor it to determine threats and opportunities for the firm in future. So for that purposes, there are different methods adopted. The methods of environmental scanning may be SWOT or ETOP. SWOT represents strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and ETOP is environmental threat and opportunity profile. So when we talk about SWOT analysis, it means that you are scanning not only the external environment but also the internal environment. You are finding out the opportunities and threats posed by the external environment, and you are also understanding the strengths and weaknesses of the internal environment or of the organization, so that you can use your strengths to harness the opportunities and meet the threats, and you can work upon your weaknesses so that you can eradicate or do away with those weaknesses and build them into strength to take the benefit of the environmental changes. So that is SWOT analysis which we do for the environmental scanning. Then when we talk about ETOP, environmental threat and opportunities profile, for that purposes, for every area of the organization, whether it is, say, every function like marketing, finance, or human resources, or production, and for each one of them you are making a profile of threats and opportunities, and in every division you are finding out how these threats can be minimized or tackled, and the opportunities can be harnessed, and what changes should take place, or what changes should be introduced in each of these divisions, so that these threats and opportunities could be taken care of. So that is environmental scanning. The need for environmental scanning, as we have discussed in the previous slide, that it helps in identification of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Optimum use of resources is possible if you do the environmental scanning. You know that the resources are limited, and we have to think about the environment and meeting those environmental threats and opportunities, so that the resources do not go waste. Growth and survival of the organization also depends upon environmental scanning. What changes are taking place in the different types of macro factors and micro factors and the internal factors, and that will determine your future policies, and that will help in the growth of the organization as well as survival of the organization. Planning long-term business strategy, that is also the corporate plans, or the strategic plans can be developed if you do the environmental scanning properly. Decision making, in every area of decision making, for every function, we have discussed ETOP profiling also. So for every area you will find out the threats, opportunities, and take decisions to meet the threats, to take benefit of the opportunities, and that can be done only if you have done your environmental scanning or monitoring properly. The next heading is types of environmental factors. Now this we have discussed in the first slide also, that there are internal factors as well as external factors. When we talk about internal factors, they are controllable, and management can take concrete actions to control these factors. These internal factors include internal resources, the physical resources and the human resources, the marketing mix policies, men, money, machine, material. This is another way of saying the internal resources. Then production, marketing, finance, human resources. These are the different divisions or departments of the organization. All this falls under the internal environment. And in fact, the human resource can also be categorized into managerial and operational people, or the blue collared and the white collared people. Even your shareholders can form part of the internal factors. Then external factors are uncontrollable factors. These are uncontrollable in the sense that they are not in direct control of the organization, beyond the control of the organization, and this can be categorized into micro environmental factors and macro environmental factors. Now these micro environmental factors, they specifically affect a particular firm, and they are specific to this organization, and they might not be affecting all the other firms. But when we talk about macro factors, they affect all the firms, all the firms operating in an economy or in an area. So micro environmental factors are customers, competitors, suppliers, and intermediaries, and the macro environment factors are economic factor, political, legal, social, cultural, and natural factors, and even the international environment that also forms part of the macro environment. Now the types of marketing environmental factors are very much visible in this diagram. You can see at the core is the internal environment, consisting of men, money, machinery, material, and in fact minutes also. All the micro environmental factors are consumers, suppliers, and the stakeholders. So sometimes the shareholders, they fall the part of the micro environment. Those who are financial institutions giving loans to you, they may also form part of the micro environment. The macro environmental factors are the economic factors, socio-cultural, technological, political, legal. All these are the macro environmental factors. Now, first of all, we will be discussing the internal marketing environment. The internal marketing environment comprises of all the activities inside the marketing organization which are also controllable. And this includes all the P's and their combination, that means the marketing mix. Depending upon the type of the organization, whether it is in the product marketing or services marketing, the P's can be product, price, promotion, place, process, physical environment, and people. We have discussed all these P's in detail in our chapter on marketing mix. Internal resources also include different type of M's like men, money, machine, material, minutes of the every meeting, everything is important. That is the internal resources. It also includes all the departments and units, as we have discussed, the production, marketing, finance, human resource department, even the research and development department of the organization that forms the part of the departments or internal marketing environment. External marketing environment, here we will be concerned with first the micro environment. Now, external marketing environment comprises of uncontrollable forces outside the organization which we are aware of, and it includes micro and macro environmental factors. Here we will discuss the micro environmental factors first. So, micro environment implies factors and forces in the immediate environment which influence the company's ability to serve its market. As we have said that these micro factors, they affect a particular firm. And that's why they are called micro environmental factors. They might not be affecting all the other firms. It is the one-to-one relation between the firm and one of the element of this micro environmental factor. They are related to a specific enterprise and form part of its total marketing system. Direct action elements also, they are called. These are direct action elements of the environment or the immediate external forces which influence marketing plans and operations of the company. So micro environmental factors or forces comprises of customers, suppliers, marketing intermediaries, competitors, and public. So we will discuss these micro environmental forces or factors one by one. The first micro environmental factor is customers. Now, customers can be categorized according to their type. The type of customers or target market are consumer market, where we are selling the products which are meant for the final or ultimate users, that is consumer. Industrial market, which are involved in production of the goods and services for other organizations, so that is industrial market, because this is not for the final or ultimate customers. Reseller market is also there. They're like the retailers and especially the wholesalers. They buy from one party and sell it to the another party, but that other party might not be the final customer. Government and other non-profit market is also there. These are institutes which are purchasing for governmental purposes or non-profit purposes. That is their ultimate aim. Then there is international market where the products are meant to be exported to or imported, and there is a transaction between two companies located in two countries or people located in two countries. So that is international, two or more countries. So that is international market. So these are the type of customers, and according to the type of the customers, every other policy decisions will be, marketing policy decisions will be taken. The responsibility of the organization towards the customers are, what do you think? What will be the ultimate objective of serving the customers? And how you can make them happy or satisfied? It is through better quality product at reasonable prices, of course. So to supply appropriate products and services according to the need, to increase customer satisfaction, to design appropriate marketing strategy influenced by its target market. So the ultimate aim of the organization is to satisfy the customers, because these customers are the only people who will bring revenue to the organization, and that will help in survival and growth of the organization. So this is one of the most important element. Okay, it is only element which is generating revenue for the firm. Next element is suppliers. The suppliers provide resources needed for production of goods and services. They are either individuals or business houses. Now, companies does the following things regarding suppliers. Developing supply specifications. Now, according to the type of product you are manufacturing, you need certain kinds of products or raw materials or intermediate products, and that can be provided by the suppliers. Maintaining a regular relationship with supplier is very important. If this chain is broken, then the supplies will be stopped and the organization cannot produce the final goods or satisfy the customers. The quality of the products depend upon the quality of raw material and supplies provided by the suppliers. So the relationship with suppliers is also very important. Searching for supplier. So first you develop the supply specification, what you need. Then you search for suppliers who offer the best combination of quality, delivery, reliability, credit and low cost warranties. Then the aim is to avoid supply shortages, because if supply shortages are there, there will be a breakdown in the production process and you cannot satisfy the customers on time. So again, the competitors will take away or snatch away your customers. So that's why maintaining a supply chain or with a good relation with supply and avoiding supply shortages is very important on the part of the organization. Build cordial and long-term relationship with the suppliers. This is very important. This will not ensure quality, delivery, reliability and all, but credit as well. You can buy on credit from them, and low cost will be advantage will also be there, and that will ultimately reduce the cost of producing the product, and the benefit may go to the customer also. So you will have more profit, or you can sell the product at a lower price. So this is about suppliers. The next element of microenvironment is marketing intermediaries. Now, these may be individuals or business houses. As the name suggests, these marketing intermediaries, they aid in promoting, selling and distribution of goods to the ultimate consumers, assist in the flow of products, and they include whole gamut of people who help in the whole process of producing the goods and distribution of the goods. So they may be wholesalers, retailers, agents, distributing agents, market service agencies, financial institutions, etc. So they provide credit, loan, they provide different type of ancillary services to the organizations so that they can market the product or sell the product to the ultimate customers. They create place and time utility. Companies' role regarding marketing intermediaries are select an effective chain of middlemen and keep them satisfied, to reach the market in time, to get necessary information about the market, to get into the priority list so that they do not push the competitor's product. So these are important because these middlemen, they are ultimately they are the people who can help in selling the product or marketing the product. They can give you important information about the customer's needs and wants, or what the competitors are offering. And also if there is a favorable relationship between you and these marketing intermediaries, like the retailers especially, then the retailers will give prominence to your product vis-a-vis the competitors, and they will promote the product to the customers. So in a way, it will help in generating more and more sale for the organization. Also select the most cost effective mode of transportation, balancing the cost, delivery, speed and safety. You know that in marketing intermediaries, this transportation is another very important element, and according to the nature of the product, you have to decide about the mode of transportation. Also many other elements are there: the cost, the delivery, the terrain where you want to serve, the type of services or transportation services available. This you have to find out. You have to review regularly and replace any of these intermediary whenever necessary. If you find that the intermediary is not working well on behalf of the company, then naturally these are, because these are all contractual kind of relationship, you can switch to another marketing intermediary. Next important element of microenvironmental factor is competitors. So although competitors will not like to give you all the information, but nevertheless you have to monitor the competitors and their policies, their strategies, so that accordingly you can have your own strategy, or whatever strategy you are making, you have to keep in mind what will be the impact on the competitors, or what strategy, or you have to predict in advance what will be the strategy of the competitors. So you have to maintain a constant touch regarding the information relating to the competitors strategies. Build his plans to overtake them in the market. Build the plans to overtake them in the market. Build efficient system of marketing. Earn customer loyalty. Companies face three types of competition in the market. The competition generally which comes in your mind is basically the those who are selling similar type of product, but there can be other types of competition also. That is the one, that is brand competition between different brands of the same product. So this is very usual thing which comes in your mind. But the other forms of competition may be product form competition, like competition between manufacturers of substitute products like coffee and tea. So manufacturers of coffee and manufacturers of tea, this kind of competition may be there, because if the customers are tilted towards tea, then the sale of coffee will be affected. Desire competition is also there, that competition between manufacturers of all types of product. All types of products, that can be another competition. Like limited funds are there in the hands of the customer, where they would like to spend, whether it is on travel, or whether it is on building assets, or buying houses or jewelry. So there is competition with regard to desire also. So you have to understand this, because in different societies or different economies, different type of competition acts. Of course the brand competition is always there, but you cannot neglect product form competition and desire competition. The last micro-environmental factor that we are going to study is the public. Now, sometimes it is called publics, or the public in itself is a plural term, or still S is added to that to show that there can be different groups of public. Okay, that's why we can, in fact, in public relations also, we are serving different groups of people, whether they are the shareholders or the customers or the government or the public at large. Public consists of any group that has actual or potential ability to achieve its objectives. Companies try to maintain a public relations departments. Again, relations, because different groups of publics are there. Positive interaction with public, all groups, increase its goodwill irrespective of the nature of the public. Public comprises of customers, community, social groups, press, government, general public. Company must generate goodwill, operate according to the norms, monitor public opinion and their relations, give press statements, and arrange factory tours, etc. And also nowadays they have to mandatorily also and socially also contribute towards the CSR activity, that is corporate social responsibilities they have to fulfill. And many companies are taking it seriously, because that is a wonderful opportunity to not only serve the public but generate a goodwill for the company also. So this element is also very important. Otherwise companies the products of the company will not sell in the market if the public go against them. So the organization should take public seriously. To summarize this lecture, we can say marketing environment denotes all the external factors and forces that affect a firm's ability to develop and maintain successful transactions and relationships with the target customers. Environmental forces may be internal, that is internal resources and marketing mix policies, or external forces. External forces consist of micro factors and macro factors. Micro factors can be customers, competitors, suppliers, intermediaries, and public. And macro factors are economic, political, legal, social, cultural, and natural factors. Thank you very much, students. So this was marketing environment, module 3, lecture 1.